At CrossFit Lincoln, our passion is positively impacting and changing lives by creating a strong, brave, healthy community through education. We talk about nutrition, fitness, mindset, and more. From the Roro Flix studio, I'm Aaron Perkypile with Phil Kniep, Paul Konarski, and Emily Breedy. Congrats on becoming the athlete of the month, or being named athlete of the month for May. And we're like halfway through May and nothing's been put on social media. So it's probably gonna be like half of June too.
All right. But thank you.
So when I just texted you to tell you that I emailed you a link, it pulled up the text that I sent you July 31st of last year, inviting you in for a No Sweat intro.
Yeah.
So a lot's changed in that long.
It has. It's crazy.
So how did you end up finding CrossFit Lincoln?
So I live pretty close, actually. So I knew that it was there. And so CrossFit was always super intimidating, but then one day I was like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. What were you doing beforehand? I kind of remember, but what kind of stuff had you done beforehand for fitness and for wellness?
So most of it's just like strength training, lifting, just like basic like bodybuilding type of stuff. I was going to Good Life before, and I just like hated it. I just hated like not necessarily working out on my own, but it just I missed the aspect of community and coaches and things like that. And so I started going less and less. And then I was like, okay, I need to change. And so I wanted the community environment. And so that's when I was like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah. How long did it take once you got to CrossFit for you to not feel quite as intimidated to show up every day?
Pretty quickly. I started going to the noon class, and then I just always went to the noon class, and everybody's so welcoming. And so I think part of the intimidation of CrossFit in general is just like when you think of CrossFit or you see CrossFit, it's like really intense and these really strong people. But right away, the coaches and even the other athletes were welcoming and adjusted things for me, so I didn't feel like I could do it, and I didn't feel like I was out of place at all ever. So
yeah. Well, I remember working with you on your foundations, and we got you to do a handstand push-up, I think it was an elevated handstand push-up.
Yeah.
And so then just the last couple weeks through quarantine, watching you post videos of you just busting out strict handstand push-ups, right?
Yeah, well, I can get one. Some days too, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are things like in foundations, I was like, there's no way. And you're like, try it. And I was like, okay. So even like now, like I'm like, oh, I can't do those things. Like that's hard. And so that's what I love about the community and the coaches too. And they're like that extra push. Like I'm just the type of person that needs the extra push, and it's like, can't I just do it? And I'm like, okay. And then I can do it. And so I like surprising myself.
Yeah. So talk to us. What kind of stuff do you do? Tell us a little bit about your background. You know, are you from Nebraska originally? Did you go to school here?
Yep, I'm from Lincoln. I've lived here my whole life. Went to school here. Never moved out of Nebraska. I thought I would at some point, but the older I get, I'm like, no, probably just gonna be here.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. What would you say since you started CrossFit has changed the most for you?
A lot of things. Like even just working out before, it was just like I was just working out. It was like because you should. It's just one of those things. I think since starting CrossFit, I always say that starting was the most humbling experience I've ever had. Like, because I was so bad
Yeah.
when I thought that I wasn't. So it's just like maybe set some goals and just being able to push my body to see what it's actually capable of. I think it's really empowering, not only just for like fitness and getting stronger, but it just builds confidence in general, I think too.
Yeah. Have you felt like that's kind of bled over into work life and home life or anything like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it gives you confidence, and it opens your mind to lots of different things. So I think it is in all aspects.
Yeah. How long have you been doing Barbell Club?
Gosh, since it started. I don't even remember when it started, but
Yeah.
I started from the beginning.
Okay. Have you seen? Have you seen changes there and improvements there?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first started at CrossFit in general, there was some of the Olympic lifting going on, but I was doing really, really light because I was brand new and didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And then that phase kind of ended and we weren't really doing it as much. So as a new athlete and not having any experience with Olympic lifting, it was interesting to do it in classes. So then starting Barbell Club, just dialing in on those specific skills, but just because we do like a lot of squatting and accessory work and stuff like that. So that's carried over to just my lifts in general, and then implementing them into the classes too at a higher intensity, which is still a struggle. Yeah.
Now you have 2 daughters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they work out with you some?
Jadis is my older daughter. I can get her to do it.
Yeah.
Jocelyn will like the idea of it, but she never does. But
because I know that they were coming to CrossFit Kids a little bit.
Yeah, they play a lot of sports. So not right now, but our schedule was busy. Yeah. So we just did like the drop-ins to CrossFit Kids, and they absolutely loved it.
Yeah. How has the change from like being in the gym and now working out at home, how has that changed your perspective or changed maybe your approach to working out? Has that affected it at all?
Honestly, I think that right now my volume's a little higher even, just because I have the equipment at home and I can do more, because typically I do the noon class and then I'm doing it over my lunch break. So I have a really limited amount of time.
Right.
So now it's like I can do the noon class, but then after work I can go out and do more of like the skill building stuff and more lifting and stuff. So, I mean, obviously it stinks. I miss the gym. I miss being around coaches, being around people, but I love that I can still do Zoom classes and stay connected, and I'm doing probably more.
Yeah. What do you feel like will remain the same kind of in this changed world for you? Will some of that remain the same when we're able to be back in the gym?
Yeah. So I got a lot of stuff impulsively when I was like, oh no. So I mean, I'll go back to classes when classes open up, and because I love the community environment and just being in the gym, but also I have the opportunity to work out at home now too, and continue to like work on those specific skills that I don't always have time to do when I'm at the gym.
Yeah. You had been a part of our nutrition challenge at the beginning of the year. Is that right? Am I remembering that right?
Yep.
How did that maybe change your perspective on health and fitness?
So, I mean, I've been doing this long enough where I know, like nutrition, I know what to do and what not to do. But accountability is huge for me.
Yeah.
I have somebody that I'm checking in with just to be like, hey, Hannah, did you do this? Like, you have questions? Like, it's more motivating for me to actually do it. So that was helpful. But also, I've never done CrossFit. I've never done high intensity training. I've never done stuff like this. So doing that nutrition challenge for me was like, okay, how do I eat to accommodate the training that I'm doing, because I've never done this before. And so that was the big thing for me. And then so I worked with Paul, and my goal was not to lose weight or get to a certain number or whatever. It was like, I want to eat to perform and the high intensity but also get stronger. So it was a good nutrition challenge for me, not necessarily to lose weight, but just like to learn more about how these two things work together.
Yeah. And what kind of results did you see? Did you increase lifts during that time, or could you tell a difference in your performance?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I gained a little bit of weight, but like my measurements didn't change at all. But like, especially on days where I was doing Barbell Club, I was working out with Phil, I was doing the classes, like I needed to make sure I had the energy for that. And so that, yeah, I could see the difference, and I could make sure that I was eating enough to continue to improve my lifts and get stronger during that time too. And so I continued trying to do that.
And you did, now kind of at that same time you talked about you were working with Phil, you were doing some personal training stuff too. What kind of things did you work on in your personal training time?
So I did more of the Olympic lifting, just to dial in even more on it. On one-on-one thing. Barbell Club is super great, but it's still a group class, and so I just really wanted to dial in on it. And then the gymnastics stuff, so handstand push-ups, kipping pull-ups in general, and then toes to bar were like the main things that we worked on. And
did you see some pretty good results from that?
Oh yeah, before, I mean, you said that I had done like the handstand push-up. So when I started with Phil, I couldn't do them without any elevation at all, and so that quickly built up, especially the kipping ones, and then we were working on the strict ones, and then like just the kipping pull-ups. So I was a CrossFit hater for a while. So yeah, I was like, you know, they're just swinging around or whatever. No, it's hard. It's super hard. So working on that form and building those up, like we work on it in class, but it's hard when there's a class of 15 plus to really dial in on that person. So I wanted to just build those skills. That way I could carry them over into workouts. Yeah. Toes to bar, like I could not get that down. I was just swinging all over the place. And even working with Phil, it was like so frustrating because I was like, I can't do it. And then just one day it clicked. So.
What would you say is your favorite CrossFit movement or kind of movements that we do in CrossFit? What are your favorites?
I like to do strength stuff. I really like the Olympic lifts. I like to do the clean snatches. Depends on the day. Yeah. But yeah, those are my favorite. I like the gymnastic stuff, but I just like don't have any background on that. But yeah, the strength stuff is my favorite by far.
And what movement or movements, if you never had to see them ever again in your life, which would you place on that list, your least favorite list?
Okay, not even movements, but like running, I hate. Burpees, okay, I hated for a long time. I'm getting better. And the assault bike. Yeah. Those three things could go.
Would you say that your girls have noticed any difference in you at home or anything like that?
I think it's the cutest thing when the girls are like, Mom, you're getting strong, or like my older daughter will be like, oh, your thighs are getting big. I'm like, yeah. Or like even when I'm like in the garage working out, like my daughter will have a friend over and they'll just be sitting there watching, and I can hear my daughter going like, she's strong or something. Or she'll like post videos of me lifting. I'm like, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Now, you've become internet famous because you're TikToking with your girls. Tell me about that. How did that start?
Okay, so my daughter's 10, she's almost 11, so she's like constantly on the phone, social media type of thing. She's just at that age, and so I didn't know what TikTok was forever. But I would always see her doing this stuff, or she'd show me, and then she kept trying to convince me to get one. And so finally I was like, okay, fine. So I downloaded it, and those like, it's addicting. I just like sat there for probably like 2 days. It's better now, but like just watching all the videos and like they're so fun. I like the prank videos. It gives me all the good ideas. Yeah. But then she would just like ask me to do like a dance video, and I can't dance very well, but it's fun to do.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So how are they doing? Are they out of school now? Are they finished, or do they have like this next week?
One more week on Thursday.
Okay. They've been doing all right. Has it been tough?
I think at first, especially for my older daughter, it was really tough. just being away from friends. She's in 5th grade, so she'll start a new school next year.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm never going to see my friends again. But she's been doing a lot of FaceTime and talking to her friends more. So I think they're doing okay so far.
Yeah. So looking back into the end of July of last year when you were just getting started to where you are now, what would you tell yourself if you were thinking about CrossFit? What do you wish you would have known, or what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give yourself from 9 months ago?
Gosh, I wish I would have started it sooner. Like, honestly, like, because I got this right away, is that it's not as intimidating as it seems, and that you can scale anything. And it's for everybody. So, advice that I would give other people is, like, don't be scared of it.
Yeah.
Like, you scale it. You can literally anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So I wish I would have known that, because I would have not avoided CrossFit for so long.
Yeah. What would you say to the haters of CrossFit out there?
Oh gosh, just give it a try. Yeah, it's it's not just swinging and jumping around. Like, it's hard. You got to put a lot of work into it. It's a lot of skill with strength. So it's not just picking up a barbell and putting it down or throwing stuff around. Like, there's a lot. It takes a lot.
Yeah. Have you developed any friendships at the gym? You want to give anybody a shout out?
Yeah, so
Who are your workout homies?
I'm a nooner. I like the recess crew. So I have hit a couple different classes, and everyone's always welcoming when I do, but like the noon crews, my regulars. Christina comes over and we work out in the garage all the time for
Awesome.
Barbell Club. Yep. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to say? Anything we haven't covered? You're like, oh, I want to make sure that this gets shared.
No, but I do want one of those cool videos when everything gets back to normal.
100%. That needs to happen.
Okay, because they do.
Cassandra is owed one too.
What?
Cassandra is owed one too.
Yeah, because they make you look so cool. So I need that.
Oh man. You just gotta have Jadis and Jocelyn record one for you. That's what's gonna happen.
Christina and I were just joking about that, about how we were gonna just record one in my garage. And
well, you probably have enough footage, and your daughters probably have enough footage that if you sent me something, I could put something together.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd look as cool as the guys.
Well, I won't be able to make it look as cool. Ronnie and Levi rock it on those. So.
They're pretty awesome. So.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today, and congratulations again on being named Athlete of the Month. We've been super proud of watching you just come on every day and look for different ways here and there to continue to improve, and you're reaping the benefits of that hard work, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.